Hey guys, little announcement for you.
We're going extra long today.
Double feature.
Double feature, because we won't be doing a podcast next week because we have zero time to film one during the yarn crawl. So enjoy us extra today. Hope it holds you through for 2 weeks. Hi guys. This is If Yarn Could Talk with Vicki and Aja.
Hi.
I'm the owner of Island Yarn. This is my daughter Aja.
Hello. Remember when I said that they were really long last time?
Yeah, I think they ate too much. They got
It's
fatter.
a little thick.
They got a little chunky. Don't body shame them though, for God's sakes. You have to use your whole hand to hold needles like that.
I know. Look at my tiny little hand.
Do they wrap all the way around? Oh, your fingers barely meet.
My fingers barely meet.
These are size 70 needles.
70?
70.
70.
And they are, what are they? What millimeter? 35 millimeters. So that's 3.5 centimeters wide diameter. Isn't that hilarious? These are the needles I used. I don't know if you guys have seen any of our twice knit projects, which are like extreme stash busting. Like if you're one of those people who has rooms of yarn, not if you're one of those people that's like, I have so much yarn, I have a whole bin. These projects aren't for you. But if you're like, I have a whole room of yarn and I need to get rid of some stash, you should check out our twice knit stuff. It uses like 15 pounds of yarn for a blanket.
We like that.
Yeah.
Weighted blanket.
And you can use anything. You can throw anything in there. So anyway, that was sort of not on my list of topics at all. What are you making with those big needles, Aja?
A hat for a giant.
A giant. I made a hat out of those. It was called the Magic Hat. And actually they were in 50s. I lied. But it was 10 stitches, cast on 10 stitches, which all the knitters will know that's hilarious to make a hat where you cast on 10 stitches.
Yeah.
But it was so thick, it was like a bike helmet. It was boom. So I guess if you need some protective gear, make a hat out of those.
You can make a bike helmet out of it.
That's right.
Knitted.
Not, what is the bike association? Not bike association approved, but you know, knitter approved. I'm crocheting a mad ball like I was last time, but it's a different mad ball. That mad ball, by the way, has become this scarf.
Wow.
Want to try it on? You're the trier on her. So that's one mad ball. It's such a fun scarf. I'm not done crocheting it yet. I mean, I am done crocheting it. I'm not done with the stitch yet. So I have to do another thing.
Ooh, I like
you
this
guys
bit.
know how that is.
You see that bit? I like that bit.
Isn't this like little waves? Happy little waves. Makes me feel like Bob Ross. Happy little waves.
You got happy little trees, you got happy little waves.
Yep. Yeah, this pattern is coming out today. So,
Woo!
So yeah, it'll be the 19th pattern you get with your purchase of Mad Balls. 19th. I mean,
so
at some
many.
point I should stop. It's ridiculous, but they're really fun. It's like whenever I do a Mad Ball pattern, I start it, and then like 2 seconds later I'm done because it's so addictive to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna keep going until the next yarn. Like, oh, I'm just gonna knit like a row or two and see how the next yarn looks, and then the next one's coming in. Before you know it, it's 3 in the morning and your project is done, and your Mad Ball is done.
It's true.
Yeah, that happens a lot. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Speaking of Mad Balls, these were our new Mad Balls this week. Got a nice jewel Tony batch. This is color 427. Again, I don't know if these will be here by the time.
Now,
this comes
how
out.
would you describe jewel-toned colors, Mom?
You know, the jewel tones. They're like emeralds and tanzanite and rubies and.
That's up
I don't
my
know.
alley for sure.
I'm not rich enough to have jewels. What are the other jewels that are jewel tones?
Well, I'll tell you, we've got, I don't know, adventurine, we've got sapphire.
Sapphire, that's a good one.
We've got we've got amethyst.
Oh, amethyst.
Amethyst. You
is
can
the
never
best
forget
one.
about
How
amethyst.
did I forget amethyst?
I
It's
know.
my favorite.
That was like honestly a tragedy that just happened.
That was a tragedy. Yeah, so these ones are kind of jewel tony. This one is color 428. Isn't that one pretty?
I like this batch.
Yeah, I like this batch too.
I also really liked last week's batch. I like the autumny colors. I don't wear a lot of autumny colors, but I like to see them.
Yeah, the same for me. Like, they're pretty to look at, but I just look like I should be checked into the hospital if I wear yellows. So I try not to, so that people don't take me to the hospital. So those are our new Mad Balls this week.
If you want to check them all out, there's a post of like the entire collection that goes out every Wednesday on the Instagram and the Facebook.
Yeah, all the new ones and a sweet little video so that you can get your eyeballs full of Mad Balls.
Wait, hold on. Eyeballs full of Mad Balls.
Oh.
Mad Balls. These are legit Mad Balls.
I should make a pattern called Mad Eyeballs.
Mad Eyeballs.
I'd have to use two though, otherwise it would just be Mad Eyeball.
Do you think that you could glue? Do you think? Do you?
Yes.
Do you think you could get some googly eyes into it?
Oh, absolutely.
You just
Googly eye
stick one
right in the center, right
center.
there. That'd
Yeah.
be hilarious.
I like that.
Seems like a Halloweeny kind of thing.
Thought that these became my eyes for a second.
So we also had some new colors of Duo, which is our plied Noro yarn. So first we have this one, sort of like
Earthy,
golden, but with little aqua bits. It's quite pretty. Again, couldn't wear it. See, oh my God, they're gonna come through the screen, take me to the hospital. How about you, Aja? I don't think so. This one is like a creamsicle.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one's really fun. I like that one.
Rotisserie yarn.
Oh, that's good. We got a jingle now. And then this one is just like a color riot fun. Isn't that fun?
Color pop.
Everything in it. So yeah, those were our new batches of Duo. And that's probably all the Duo until after the Greater Boston Yarn Crawl, which is this Thursday to Sunday. So make sure you come by and scoop some of the stuff you've been seeing, because it'll likely be gone by the end of the yarn crawl.
Mom, what is the Boston Yarn Crawl?
Oh, the Greater Boston Yarn Crawl. It's a self-guided tour of all the awesome shops in this area. We're all open extended hours. We all have prizes and games and raffles and sales.
Do you want to explain the passport?
You pick up a passport at your local store, or you can download it from the website, which is shockingly greaterbostonyarncrawl.com.
Whoa!
Wow. And there's 13 shops, and when you go to a shop, you get your passport stamped. And if you get to a whole bunch of them, you can be entered. You leave your passport at the end of the crawl in the shop. I have to back up. Each shop has a grand prize basket filled with all sorts of really fun goodies, and they're all pretty distinct to the shop, so you want to eyeball them when you're in the shops. And then you leave your passport at the shop where you want to win that prize as your entry. And after we all pick our winners for the grand prize baskets, then we ship them all off to one of the other stores. I can't remember who right now, who's drawing the name for the grand prize winner. And if you've gone to a whole mess of the shops, you could win $400 worth of gift cards to all the stores. I mean, you know, 400 total, not 400 each. And yeah, and there's other prizes too. If you don't get to quite as many, you can still be entered to win a prize for like $250, I think it is. It's $30 to every store. It's $15 to every store. It's $10 to every store.
There's a tier system.
There's 3 tiers, yeah, and it all depends on how many shops you got to. So, and if you went to all 13, you're entered for all of them, because obviously you've gotten also to 7, and you've also gotten to 9. So
yep.
Yeah, so that's how the passport works. And your passport also gets you a lot of fun freebies and stuff. Like when you come in here, we'll give you some stuff. I don't want to say.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. So just come in and find out. That's Greater Boston Yarn Crawl.
Yep.
It's a really fun weekend. If you love yarn, you will love the yarn crawl.
We're in Maynard at 189 Main Street,
Mhm.
but they have all of the addresses on the
Yep.
Boston
On the
Yarn Crawl
passport. Yep.
on the passport.
And I'm pretty sure that weekend also is Maynard Fest. So if you come on Saturday, there's all sorts of other fun things to do downtown in Maynard, and there's really good restaurants, and there's a great little cinema. So you honestly could like come out here, have your yarn fun, have some lunch, see a movie, check out some Maynard Fest. It's actually just a really great day.
Yeah.
So Joybelle, that would be my sister.
Otherwise known as the audience.
The audience, yes. Joybelle, aka the audience, asked if any special bind off should be used when you're gonna felt something. And I would say not really. I would say, which is kind of a dumb answer, I guess, but just make sure it's loose-ish. You know, you don't have to go crazy and do a super stretchy because that might ruffle out when you wash it. But if it's too tight, it'll constrict it. So if you're a tight binder offer, maybe just go up a needle size, or maybe use the stretchy bind off where you knit two and then sort of SSK them, because that one is stretchy but not. But otherwise, I wouldn't stress about a bind off too much for felting. It's going to be felted. You can do anything to it afterwards. You can cut it up. So yeah, that's a good question though.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, audience. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them for us below.
Something that my mom thrives at a lot is color. So we wanted to kind of discuss color for a little bit. I think today we're going to talk about grayscale.
Yeah, black and white, grayscale.
And then we'll get to some more like colors, earthy tone colors, how to like, match them and stuff like that a little bit.
How to put colors together, how to look at colors in different ways.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So I think we're going to do it for like several weeks going forward. We'll sort of pick a color, but this week we're doing exciting black and white, because these are your two basics right here.
If you're black or white.
When you think about black and white, you kind of think like it's black and white, right?
They're values. They're not even technically colors.
Right. And that is, well, black is sort of all the colors and white is the absence of color.
Yep.
So that's sort of a funny
Getting
thing too.
sciencey on your ass.
I also think that's sort of an interesting thing. I mean, a lot of color stuff too. I want you guys to take everything I say with a grain of salt, because a lot of it is personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like I can definitely help people put colors together, but once in a while they have taste that is just not my taste at all, and I can still help them, but it's not necessarily what I would choose.
It's up to you.
So if I say something and you're like, no, that's terrible, then that's fine. That's cool. I might say those things a lot.
If you do disagree, let us know what your favorite color schemes are in the comments.
Yeah. So the thing about black is, I feel like black is full of color, and so it's always my preferred neutral if I had to choose black or white.
Me too, but that's because I'm messy.
Because you're messy. Yeah, I mean, there is a problem with wearing white and using white. Like, if you're making a white baby blanket, you're going to be careful. You're not going to be sipping your tea around it. You're not going to be having some popcorn while you knit. Like,
you're not going to be doing your makeup right before.
No, you're not going to be dyeing yarn. No. So that's also, obviously, that's just a care consideration of white. But I just sort of feel like, I don't know if it's true, but that black is better with the colors because it has all the colors.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it wants to meet up with them again, and it's so pretty if you want to frame something. Or
to me, white is a blank slate, and to me, black could be black on its own. Black
is like a night sky.
Yeah, I don't know if you could tell by the amount of black that I wear, but I think that I think that black can just encompass it on its own, and it goes with colors a lot more than white does. Because if you're gonna put like a lavender next to this, it's just gonna look white, Whereas you'd have to get pretty dark, I feel like, for it to not show up against black.
Right. Yeah. That's
So I think
the
it's better for
values.
like contrast and stuff.
That's sort of one of our great tips we have. And I see a lot of people doing this in the store now, so I think this tip is starting to really make the rounds among knitters. But if you are making a project where you need several colors and they need to contrast, what you do is you grab all your colors, you line them up, you take a picture with your phone, and then you go to edit, you turn it to grayscale, and that'll show you just, because sometimes your eye just gets a little tricked. You think like, oh, this is just like this, but in the grayscale picture, it'll tell you just how much light is in every single yarn. You'll know how to line them up, or if two are too close. It's really a great tip.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and along those lines, I have so much to say.
It's a good thing we're doing a double feature.
It's also really fun to me how colors change each other. Maybe I'm going to bring some of these guys back, because it's just like, there it is with white, right?
Looks
Here, let's
cool.
sandwich it. Yep, it's nice. I mean, this is a nice combo.
Mm-hmm.
And then here it is. I need another black skein. Here it is with black. I mean, isn't that interesting? Like, I just think it looks totally different. And with other colors that do have colors, they can be really interesting. Like, you can put burgundy next to a green and it changes it yellow. You know, it's
Yeah.
just, it's really fun.
This is giving me like Monster Mash vibes.
Oh.
It's giving very Halloween to me.
It is pretty Halloween.
I like it a lot.
You are a Halloweenie after all.
Ah!
She loves Halloween.
I do love me some Halloween.
It started on July 26th this year. She loved it so much.
I declared it for my birthday. And then I saw that day that one of my favorite thrift shops also declared it. So I was like, well, it's me and them. So that means that's the entire world, right?
That's everybody.
Yep, that's everybody. So we are the reigning authorities on Halloween.
Do you want to see any others?
Well, I think it would be cool to show with the Mad Ball, because the Mad Balls are also have different kind of textures. So like, you know, even, and there's also different kinds of blacks, you know, because this.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing.
Yeah, this type of black is, you know, again, like she said, there's like, could be blues, a black could be more blue, or it could be, you know, I guess technically then it's like a gray or a brown or something like that.
No, what you're saying is totally true though. That's why I have a few different blacks, and I don't really have a few different whites, because this is the other thing I want to tell you guys is like, wool is never going to be white. It's never going to be white because you can't bleach wool. So, you know, you can get a nice natural color like this. This is Harriet Gray. It's actually alpaca.
I feel like this is like the whitest
This
that I've
is
seen.
cotton. So it can be white. That's
okay.
why I pulled it.
Got you.
So we would have a true white representation, because honestly, there's not much in the store, because most of it's wool or wool blends, and they're just never going to be like blazing white.
The luxury.
But also, if you're putting together a sweater and you need a white contrast, you know what, these naturals are going to read as white. Like once you put them next to a black, it's white.
Yeah.
So it's not like you really need to worry about this like eye-searing white.
Yeah, I actually prefer this. It's like
Me too.
better on the eyes. And I don't like cream. Usually I will never go for like a cream color.
Mhm.
But since this is like contrasted, then it doesn't really look cream. It just looks white.
Yeah, we're not
Nice.
beigey people.
Not beigey people.
Anything that goes beigey, we're out. Yeah. So, but then you get into the other neutrals, and it's just really interesting. So wait, let's talk about grays for a minute. I don't know if I finished that other part, but that's okay.
Grays.
I like grays. As a neutral, gray is my favorite neutral. Not that I'm into neutrals that much, but but I just have quite a selection of grays, because grays can
They have a
mean
lot of
some-
different colors in them.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I wanted to say. Asia is so intuitive. These are all grays. And individually, if you were to come into the store and like take these off the shelf, you'd say, oh yeah, this is gray. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, this is gray. Next to each other, it's really interesting, isn't it? Like this looks blue. This almost looks sort of tan, beigey.
Yellowish.
This has so much yellow in it for a gray. And like, I do not like grays with yellow in them.
Me neither.
But this is actually great contrast for certain things.
This, to me, for some reason, this seems the most, like, traditional gray
Interesting.
in this lineup.
Because when this is on the shelf, it tends to look kind of purple, a little like pale lavender purple.
So I've just gravitated towards that because it's purple.
You didn't say you liked it. You said it was the most traditional. Were you lying? What you were actually saying
No,
is,
actually,
I like this because
like
it's
this
actually
one.
purple.
Actually, when you picked it up, I could totally see that it's like more red.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting. I actually like this gray the best, probably.
This gray I like a lot. And this gray does tend to look very blue though on the shelf, and depending on what else it's next to, like when it's next to this, it looks absolutely blue.
Oh my god, yeah, it almost turns this one green, doesn't it?
Yeah.
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 That's so crazy. This is a crazy
This is
gray.
Yeah.
That is a color changing yarn if I ever seen one.
It absolutely is. Isn't it so interesting?
It's really interesting.
I love it. So for me, I like these bluer grays much more than like yellow grays. But when people say stuff like that to you, that's all they mean is that there's these undertones in it. They're not trying to freak you out or anything. Sometimes they say stuff like that to people like, oh my god, there's so much yellow in that gray, and they're like, it's gray, what kind of whack job are you?
Yeah, or like when you're trying to decide if something is like purple or pink, it's like, well, it depends on how much red and blue it has in it, you know?
Right.
And if there's any other mixes of colors, you know, in there. So, yeah.
That's our nice selection of grays here.
Do
you guys prefer gray or beige? Because I feel like people, that's the other thing, like beige, tan, cream, those are sort of the warm neutrals. And if you're more of a warm color person, you tend to go for those. I'm much more a cool color person, like purples and blues, so I like the cooler neutrals if I have to use a neutral. What do you find that too, Aja?
I don't know, because
she does not like gray.
I don't like gray. Yeah, I'm not a gray person. I think of the two, probably beiges might look better on me, because gray just, I have slightly more olivey skin tone than my mother here, and so if there's like any amount of green in the gray, then it's like you said, like I look like I'm gonna get sent to the hospital. So I feel like sometimes beiges, if they're orangey enough, if they're warm enough, then they
more
don't.
Like a tan.
More like a tan, yeah, then they don't. But like, look at this. That's like the worst.
I do have to say too, I mean, it is bad news for all you guys that love grays, because gray, though I really love gray, it really doesn't do anything for anybody. Like, it really doesn't do anything for skin tone. Like, you can wear it, and it's sometimes not horrible, it's sometimes fine, but it's never gonna be that color that's like, wow, you look amazing in that color.
Yeah, it's never. Well, that's also because it's not like you would say to someone like, black's your color. Like the same thing with white. I mean, white can look good on someone, but I'd never be like, if it was any color, which there is gonna be some color for someone that is gonna look like phenomenal on them, I'd more say that that's their color than like white or black or gray, or I guess you could maybe say tan depending on how much color it has in it. But speaking of that, do you want to move on to beiges?
I think we should go to the warmer end of our neutrals. Yes. Here are some creamy beiges, warmer end of your neutrals, right? This one, the Rogue, which gets to be in both camps because there's so much yellow in it.
Yeah, for real.
This is a Mad Ball, which sort of goes through the entire cycle, which is fun.
Yeah, it's always fun. Plus you get some glittery. It's kind of like gold. I also like gold a lot, which goes with brown a lot more than gray does.
That's true, because warmer, and I like silver.
And you like silver, so you're
all
more
the
in
cold.
the gray.
She's warmer, I'm colder. That's what we're gonna do.
It's getting hot in here.
Oddly enough, with temperature, complete opposites.
Yeah,
colder,
that's true.
warmer.
Yeah.
I'm always
yeah.
Turn the AC up, and she's like, turn the heat up. How it goes.
72 degrees. I'm like, I need a sweater.
It's so cold. I'm like 72 degrees. Oh my God, why is it so hot?
I need a tank top.
What do we want to say about these beiges? They're the warmer end. I would say, again, with beiges, like, to me, this one is probably my favorite because there's a little blue in it. Do you see how it's got some blue undertones?
It's so weird. It's like an optical illusion, because like to me, my mom's better at color than I am. I can be a little wacky with my colors.
She's good though.
I'm alright, but I'm not as good as she is. But like, I don't see the blue until you're like, there's blue in it. And then I'm like, oh, it's like the dress thing where it was like, is it blue? Is it gold?
Oh yeah, that was so weird.
It's like that, where it's like, you don't see it unless someone's like, no, but it's this color.
Right.
You know?
That's a funny thing I found about color in here is that I don't know if people call colors what they love or what they don't love. Say it's like a sort of bricky deep red. Like I would call it a red because I like red and I like deep reds. But other people will come in and tell me it's brown.
Or orange.
And I'm like, it's not brown. I get so offended on behalf of the yarn that they've called it brown. And it's really interesting what different people see in different yarns. Like, I'll be like, ooh, look at this blue yarn. And they'll say, oh, look at this green yarn.
Yeah.
You know, so it depends on what you see in the yarn. And I actually don't know if people see what they like or if they see what they don't like and identify. It's hard to tell.
Well, it's a cool thing to bring up. It's one of those like weird philosophical questions where like we don't actually even know if we're all seeing the same colors. Like in someone else's brain, this might be blue, but like because we call this brown, it's brown.
Right.
So
I actually have two things.
That's also like an interesting
exactly
thing.
That. One is, if you're seeing these colors, especially this one, and it looks yellow, please go have your cataracts checked. Because this is cream. This is a thing that goes on in here.
Okay.
I have people of a certain age, and when they come in and tell me this is yellow, I'm a little worried. Or hopefully they're on their way to have a little
checkup.
Little laser surgery soon, and then they're really happy again. They come in here and they start crying because it's so pretty.
Yeah, so that's the thing too, is that just like people see colors differently.
Right.
So something that might look good to you, I mean, people can be colorblind, people can be,
and people
just see different colors.
Right. I had another customer whose son, and we could never tell if he saw, because you don't know what people are seeing. It is a philosophical question because you cannot see what other people are seeing. So she didn't know if he just sort of misidentified colors or if he saw colors differently. Because like he would see a blue and he would call it pink. And he was like 10 or 11. He would have known his colors by then. But it was just no idea what actually was going on because you can't actually see out of his eyes. You can just listen to what he says and try to work with it. He had actually an interesting color sense too when he would come in. He was the knitter. He was so cute. When he would put colors together, like he had a pretty cool color sense. Like it was a little wild, but it was pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. So now
I can kind of relate to is I honestly, how you say like people will come in and say like this red looks brown. Sometimes dark grays to me look purple.
Yeah, dark grays can look purple.
Or like
though.
browns can look purple to me.
them.
And again, I don't know if it's just because I'm searching for purple and everything.
Right. Yeah.
Or
me too.
because I love purple, or if it's because it actually has more blue or more red tones in it, you know?
I always wonder though if people's like if sort of this is just a supposing. Let us know what you think because this is nonsense at this point. But I wonder if sort of more optimistic people say like if they see that brick red, if they like red, they call it red, and the pessimistic people, if they like red, they call it brown. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't see.
Could also probably depend on your mood. If you're like in a crappy mood and you're like, and you don't like something, you might be like, this looks like my least favorite color or something like that. You might be like, ugh, 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 and then you might come in the next day when you're in a better mood and be like, I see all the wonderful in it, you know? Like it's so much cool. It's so cool, like color preference stuff,
really
because
cool.
it really depends on your mood. That's why the whole like feng shui thing happens. That's why a color wheels. That's why crystals, when you look into their meanings and chakras, that's why they're all categorized by colors, because color theory is real. Yeah. Just like how yellow makes you hungry. That's why McDonald's and stuff like that. Green calms you. You know.
Red makes you angry.
Red makes you angry, which is why McDonald's uses yellow and red in their
to make you angry.
To make you angry and hungry.
Hungry.
So,
oh my gosh,
yes.
That's so funny. I never thought about that with McDonald's. Gross.
Yep. And there's all kinds of other ones too. Purple is more like royalty, more like, you know, because in that
I'm very royal. That must be why I like purple.
I know. Well, in the metaphysical sense, it also means spiritual. So it's like, regardless, it means like higher power. It doesn't necessarily need to be royalty. It means like higher something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I always think too, just in terms of mood and color, like I know it's like on the cusp of the most colorful time of year, but in a few months we're gonna be in
Grasping
the
for
most gray, ugly time of year, unless we get a little winter wonderlandy snowflakes. And man, you guys have just got to come in here in like January and February, because it really does something to you to just fill your eyes up with color when there's no color elsewhere. Like you come in here, you just stand in front of this thing of hand dye, you will feel so much better when you're having a little seasonal affective disorder. This is not like a diagnosis or a treatment. I'm just telling you, like, it'll make you
From
feel better.
From experience, it's happier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like when I come back in after a couple days off, I'm like, oh, colors. I want to know too, what's your favorite neutral? So like the warmer tones, the cooler tones, or just straight white and black? I want to know. I'm curious. Because it is a funny thing when you order yarn too. Like you never feel like people are buying black and white, and yet we sell more black and white than anything else. Because like you pop a skein of black into a thing to sort of frame the colors. You make a baby blanket or something with white.
When I was a teenager, I used to like a lot of black. Now that I am 25, I like the full spectrum of rainbow again. Well, let's talk about what the yarns say. We've got a newcomer to the action here.
I'm new!
Woo!
This is what it says. I'm new!
I'm so happy to be at Island Yarn.
This is a very new Noro yarn, just came in this week. It's called Noro Rika, R-I-K-K-A. You can find it on our website. This is a wool alpaca silk blend. It's yummy, 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 yummy. Look at those gorgeous colors. This is going to be so great for winter scarves, vests, sweaters. You're gonna love it. And it's saying, I'm new!
I'm a little preferential to this one. I think that this one says, I'm mad excited about the yarn crawl this week.
Are you? You're probably gonna go to a good home.
Yeah, you gotta come in and adopt them. They gotta have their forever homes, you know?
Yeah. The yarns need good homes. I mean, this is a good home, but it's foster care.
It's foster care for the mad balls. Gotta take these crazy little dudes home with you.
Yep. So I think we're wrapping up, but if you liked it, please like the video, maybe comment, maybe subscribe.
Hit the notification bell if you want to know when more videos go up. Make sure you check out our Instagram and Facebook for more daily updates.
Thanks so much for watching, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll see you soon. We'll miss you next week.
We'll miss you. Bye.
Bye.